I'm Cecilia, I live in Zurich and I love train travel, and I'm trying to visit all 1,720 public transport train stations in Switzerland. Back in June I was in London and I decided to do the first bit of the London Loop, which is a hiking trail that goes all the way around London in a big circle. Good afternoon. I'm just putting on my shoes and I'm about to leave and go to Erith, I think. Somewhere in the middle of nowhere, I think. Well, not in the middle of nowhere, but sort of quite far outside the centre of London. And I already went for a gym session earlier, took the tube to Oxford Circus, saw the new IKEA shop just from the outside. Hold on, I just need to make sure that I definitely do have the key. Yes. Went to the gym, did some upper body and core stuff, and then just came back home. I've not done much, just was getting ready, etc. I slept in quite late today because I wasn't feeling brilliantly. So yeah, I'm heading out now for my last day in London for this trip. So I definitely have to make the most of the afternoon now because I didn't do that much in the morning. Right, let's go. I also need to pack this in a second, but I'm in a little bit of a rush because if I do this quite quickly now, I should be able to catch a train from Cannon Street. That's timed quite well, as in I wouldn't really have to wait.
Blackfriars, change for National Rail Services. The next station is London Bridge.
Just leaving Cannon Street, nearly arriving in London Bridge at this point. And I mean, this whole section is just so nice. You get these glimpses across the river and of all the different buildings. Okay, also some not as nice ones out there, but for the most part, I love this little bit. I never really took this train route regularly because I did work in Cannon Street for about a year, but I was taking the tube over there. It wasn't from anywhere that the trains go to. So I'm on this train for 39 minutes. I have never been anywhere close to Erith, which is where I'm going. I think the closest might have been the Thames Barriers or something like that. But yeah, so somewhere new, and I'm going to have my lunch / breakfast now. Started my walk at Erith train station, I think that's how it was pronounced, and there was a little bit of signage that said Green Chain Walk, which I'm not sure if that differs from the London Loop, but here's the sign that I can see. It says link to Thames Path and London Loop, so this isn't the official start of the walk, but it's the link. So basically you have these links to various train stations and other public transport spots. This is cool. Definitely cheering up this little underpass. So I think the official start of the walk is next to the river, and I'll probably do around like 9 or 10 kilometers today, which is not officially the first section. I just left it too late in the day to get all of that done, and also get back home around the same time that my sister's going to come back from work, and I do want to, you know, make the most of the time with her if she's able to spare any. She's got a very busy week this week, so hope she's doing all right. I had a little read on the train about this little place. Need to remind myself again. I thought it was Erith, it is actually Erith. And apparently there were prehistoric paths here already, or trails here already, that lead to the Thames. And then it became more significant over the years, including they built some dock here when King Henry VIII was in charge, and apparently they fitted out ships that were made at Woolwich. So I don't know what that means. Does that mean they put the stuff in the ships like they were kind of shells? I don't really know. Paused because I was walking past people. But yeah, so that's quite interesting. Apparently it was bombed very badly, so the somewhat bland architecture as a result of that. Oh, and another thing it said in the book was that the people who were involved in the gunpowder plot rented the manor house here, presumably to do the plotting in. Just trying to keep an eye on where those little signs are to start the official path. This doesn't exactly look open, and I think the official start might be right over there. I'll have a look how close you can get to the river. Wow. This is cool. I'm well aware this is not like a, area of natural beauty or something. Although I think there are some wetlands coming up that are supposed to be like a wildlife reserve. I do like ships though, and whenever I learn anything about logistics, I just think it's so cool. Other than my module on supply chain and logistics at uni, which I thought was incredibly dull because you had to learn words for really obvious things, like if you're sort of, friends with your supplier, then that means that maybe you can ask for help if you need it, but also, maybe it's not as strict, and it's like, right, well, that's obvious. Anyway. I like this. I think this is quite cool. I have no idea what they do here. Presumably this is still for the Port of London or something. But yeah, didn't expect this view. Quite pleased. Also, I'm pleased that you can actually make it to the river here, because that behind me, that's where they're working on that park, where they've closed it all off. You can see the fences. So I thought I wouldn't be able to make it to the river, because from the road it looks like this is like that, where the fences are is where it finishes, but there's this extra little walk. So who'd have thought? Also, this mud is really interesting looking. It looks like it's sort of caving in some places, and there is a sign behind me that says danger of drowning, which I fully believe them. I have no intention of walking out on that, but the seagulls are all dotted about and it's really nice, and it is so warm all of a sudden. I'm only wearing a shirt and this jumper, and earlier that was just enough, but actually thinking about taking the jumper off. way back there in the distance there's a bridge that you might be able to see, and I always see it from the Eurostar, so it's fun to see it from the other side of the river. And I don't think I'm going anywhere near that, but kind of helps me work out where I am, if that makes sense. Leaving the Thames, it's just behind me right now, but I'm turning right in a second and that'll be it. If I continue the loop at some point, like it's a loop with the Thames across the middle pretty much, so you don't see it again for a very long time. But it's been nice walking along it here. I always wanted to do the Thames Path, like the full Thames Path at some point, so maybe eventually. I'm also not sure that I'll do this whole loop, but I just thought it would be fun to do at least a little bit and see what it's like. So yeah, carrying on now. It's quite industrial around here obviously, but there have been so many nice things as well. There are a couple of trees here that have just absolutely tons of birds in them, so like you hear lots of bird song and stuff, so overall really nice. A bit over halfway at this point, and I need to keep an eye on my speed to make sure that I catch the train that I've planned for. A guy just ran past me, and he is the first person that I've seen on this path since leaving the little town area of Erith. So it's not a particularly busy path on a random Monday late afternoon. My train, if I can get there. If. I am so glad I made it onto this train on time, but it's been really annoying to have to wait. The reason why I was in a proper rush at the end is because on the map, like it said, it was a certain distance from the path, but it was just longer than that, so I had to jog a bit at the end, but never mind, made it. Also, I think confused the ticket inspector a little bit. I doubt this is a frequently used interrail route. And we're arriving in Bexley, which actually, if I continue the loop walk in the future, this is the next train station that you walk to. So yeah, I did enjoy the walk. Bit of like, I don't know, some bits are just sad to see, to be honest. That's the only issue, is like seeing graffiti, seeing you know, rubbish in the estuary, or in the river. Is it the estuary here already? I don't know, in the Thames. So, but apart from that, very, very nice. So yeah, gonna have some water now. Actually, I think I didn't say earlier, but basically I'm taking this from Crayford to Charing Cross, which is like nearly an hour. It's 45 minutes, so fair amount of time. Can't wait to have some food. Heading to Victoria for the M&S, and more importantly the big Sainsbury's there, which is like, I don't know of many central London Sainsbury's or Tesco's in theory that have the specific yogurt that I love, and I need it. I haven't had it yet on this trip, so yeah, have to go and get my yogurt because I'm leaving tomorrow. I can't have a whole trip here and not have had it, so that'll be dessert later. Well, I have eggs for Aurelia, I have my tea. I am stocking up on these because they don't sell them in Switzerland. But I think they don't sell my favourite yogurt in the world anymore. I'm sad. I'll get the blueberry one, I suppose. That'll be fine. I am stupidly sad about the yogurt. Hopefully it's just temporary. Anyway, gonna head home now. Mamma vill få macchiata tagliata. Você lo sabe? Ex-wife. I'm pretty much all packed. Feeling not great. Just like have a really sore throat and no energy. So it's not ideal, but I should be able to get nearly 7 hours of sleep. which for me, especially the night before an early start, is not bad. So anyway, gonna unfold the mattress in a second. It's one of those foldable things that then becomes the footrest as well. It's super comfy actually. So yeah, sleeping in a minute and then back to Zurich tomorrow. And I would be sad to leave, but this time I'm coming back in under 2 weeks. So it would be silly to be sad to leave. So I'm just glad I had a really nice time. Seriously, Glasgow was amazing. So I'm very pleased. Right, 6 hours and 50 minutes till I need to be up. So I will see you next time.